My name is Malebo Sipume, and I'm from a Big SA political party. We are here in Mams Mamelodi FM. We're here for the interview for the launch of Mamelodi branch. It's happening on the 13th of August at 10 to 1. So please join us, all the big ups.
August 2022 ke go leboge motheletši kae go ba kae mo lego gona ge o tšere sebaka se gore amogela ka lapeng la gago ge ke lebelela tšhupa nako ya ka motheletši e re ke metsotso ye masomepedi goba 24 minutes just after the hour 7 o'clock o go bola gore ke na le wena o tloga gabela o fitlha mola iring ya senyane ke mo e leng gore o tara go etša gona bošego bo bongwe le le bo bongwe tšatši le lengwe le le lengwe motheletši ke na le moyeng bošego ba lekgono ka studio o le gore ke tlo boledišana le yena bjale ge ke tlo mo fa sebaka se gore nke a dumediše batheletši a itlhalotše gore yena ke yena mang o tšwa a le kae. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Tobela, Mr. Jackie.
Le kae papa?
Le batheletši ka gae, rona le kae, yona ke kana.
Ke ntate ke kae?
Morwa ke kana wa dikgoši tša Matebele.
All right.
Wa kua wa gona wa golela gona mo Pitori mo.
All right.
Re golela gona mo Pitori between Pelendaba le Mamelodi.
Yes.
And re tswa go political party e bitsiwang the Basic Income Grant South Africa. Basic Income Grant South Africa e bitsiwa Big SA.
All right.
Political party.
Well, you have already mentioned who you are, the president of a Big SA political party. Now, and you are intending to contest the 2024 national elections.
Yes.
When was the party formulated?
Yeah. Ronald Howe, Big SA,
Yes.
Tomile as a lobby group ka 2017.
Okay.
And ntwene re bona mo setšhabeng and le mo economy ya Africa Borwa gore the economy was already going down, and ne re na le 3 terms
Yes.
of the year in which the economy Africa Borwa went into recession.
Yes.
until 2018. So ntwene re lebeletse botsebotse gore what's about a lot of people are losing work, they are losing employment.
Yes.
And there's a lot of hunger and a lot of poverty.
Yeah.
That and rena really by tapel bascha.
Yes.
Re lebelela hore rena re ka spele botse batho ba rena ba sa pele a botse. That was only the biggest challenge. So we started Big SA as a lobby group because we wanted the leadership of the country,
Yes.
in parliament and the presidency and all the senior leaders of the country.
Yes.
Hore repeating sejaba. What we must do, we must introduce an unconditional grant called the Basic Income Grant. So we've been running on it 2017,
2017. Yes.
2017 as a lobby group.
Yeah.
And we tried to open a number of doors,
Yes.
and more and more we were finding, we're hitting a break here.
Yes.
And we're hitting a brick wall, and we're not able to get a hearing. So only in 2021 we realized, instead of running around as a lobby group,
Yes.
most lobby groups in Africa, the only time that they get a hearing is when they go to court.
Okay.
And that's why you see a lot of NGOs and lobby groups and civic associations and community associations. They end up in court when they don't get the hearing from Baitapele Barena. And things, when you look at the situation in Tembisa that happened this week in Tembisa, it's a very unnecessary situation where people end up rioting, burning halls, what can the people do if Basa tells you?
Yes.
And that's why we decided, instead of us running around, let us rather form a political party.
Yes.
Out of the same ideas that we had. Or at least when we are a political party, and when the people understand what is it that we are trying to promote as a political party. But but clarify the vote.
Yes.
And those votes will then give us a hearing in parliament and within leadership. So the formation here at Big SA was never a political party. It was always a lobby group, or the intention and the vision, nearly lobby group.
Yeah.
Except form a political party.
All right. It is exactly 30 minutes just after the hour 7 o'clock. Mochilichi nako ya ka re ile ke lebelela metsotso ke masometharo morago ga iri ya boshupa ge le re ke gona o tsana ka lapeng la gago o bulela sealemoya sa gago tseba gore bošomo ba lekgono mochilichi ka studiong sa rena re na le moetapele modula studio mo presidente wa mokgatlo o moswa o bitswago Big SA Political Party ba tlhalositse gore Big SA BIGSA era gore a basic income grant South African political party ke mokgatlo o leng gore le khono ke dutse le moetapele wa bona ka studiong bela ge ntate kana as we continue with our conversation me and you one will then ask this question to say, as much as you said you started as a lobby group, then you realize that you are not getting an ear from those that are in office and decided to form a political party. Before you were a lobby group, have you ever belonged to a particular political party? Because we all know all these big political parties. Were you at some stage a member of those big political parties? If yes, why did you leave such parties?
What's Mr. Jackie?
Yes.
I get what's relevant babas. Mo Africa borwa. The families are nakamoka, le rena, the relative, all of us have belonged to a particular political party.
Yes.
And Radziba Mokhatlo Moholo wa Africa borwa kofe.
Yes.
So na ke jwa na le namo. And then now I've been on the business forums and the other forums and personally, you know, in my life, in my experience,
yes.
Yeah. So I get up tired of
okay.
One of our founding principles, Mubik SA,
yes.
we say very importantly, do not talk about other political parties and do not talk about other political leaders.
Yes.
Because we do not want to lose focus. Re nyaka batho ba borena ba ska bla ke tlala.
Yes.
Batho ba borena ba kgona kra mebereko. And therefore the focus is on moving forward. Wa bona le ntwa or mang di le nka ngwaga mang a bolaya mang or a utswa chelete
it matters not now
for rena not that it doesn't matter. I think you know, one of the biggest things that we're looking at,
yeah.
No more hunger, please.
Yes.
No more hunger for our communities. No more poverty for our communities. No more unemployment for our people.
Yes.
No more crime. I mean, crime and corruption,
yes.
You know, it's a problem because we talk about it, but it keeps on continuing. I mean, when we take the number of billions that disappeared between the year 2019 until today, it makes our lifetime a joke.
Yes.
And we know who the culprits are, we know who's taking the money. So as an organization, we are saying there's a number of things that we want our communities and our voters and potential voters to measure us on. One is hunger, poverty, unemployment. The issue of illegal immigrants it's very key because there is no country that can allow to country without passports, without identities, and some of them get involved in criminal offenses like the rape and murder and those kind of things and disappear through the borders. So you know, we have a very specific number of issues that we want to take care of. Mara,
yes.
We say, as a nation, the lesser we are united, the lesser we can achieve more. So that's why our byline or our selling proposition, we say, or Big SA unite the nation through the economy.
All right. Motheletši, it is 25 minutes le re tlhalošetša gore lena pele ge le thoma mokgatlo o wa Big SA le tšwa go mekgatlong e nngwe bele ge ke eng se segologolo se e leng gore se le ruetšeditše gore lena le bone go swanetše gore besides being a lobby group, you said that you were a lobby group and among other things you were not heard, then you took a resolution to say maybe if we become a political party we will be a voice of the voiceless, we will be able to be heard. But besides that, is there any other thing that pushed you to say from now onwards, 2017, Big SA, register a political party?
Thank you, Mr. Jacob.
Yes.
In the last 4 years or so, even before Nagoya coronavirus,
Yes.
we had some 4.5 million people losing their jobs. On a daily basis, we have about 12 million people every night of the day or of the month,
Yes.
where what they are going to eat. Some of them, they don't even know why and where they want to sleep.
Yes.
So, as a party, we're looking at those issues. We're looking at issues of crime, and we say a whole lot of issues, including corruption. You know, people talk about the Zondo Commission, and they look at those kind of interventions as if it's a once-off and overdeal. And yet, if you look at what Zondo Commission was investigating, they were investigating issues that were before 2018, 2017. And I'm saying to you, between 2019, 2020 until now,
Yes.
South Africans, as a public, we have lost a lot of billions of rands. And we even know who the culprits are. But at this moment, our hands are tied. I mean, it's like this situation of the Zama and those kind of issues. Because we know who the buyers of those diamonds are, the buyers of the gold are, the buyers of the people who steal cable. We know who they are. But as a nation, we have become so complacent and so scared to deal with those issues.
Yes.
And that is why we're saying, you know what, if people can't do their job and people can't protect their communities, people cannot protect their citizens, please let them go away, let them be voted out, and let's take over and give a chance to those who want to make a change in South Africa.
All right. Motheletši wa Mams Radio, ge le re ke gona go tsena ka lapeng la gago, mohlomong o dutše ka re ga poroporwana e leng gore e lebile gae, o tšwa o le mošomong goba o tšwa mo e leng gore o tla o le gona. Tseba gore bošego ba lekgono motheletši re boledišana le ntate Kekana, Mr. H. Hendrik Kekana, moetapele wa Big SA, mopresidente wa mokgatlo wa moswa o bitšwago Big SA. Pele ge ntate Kekana, ge re tšwela pele ka poledišano nna le lena bjale ka mokgatlo o bitšwago Big SA, one will assume that you've got a vision and a mission.
Yes.
Where you want to see yourself, where you want to see South Africa,
Yes.
In 25 years from now, in 10 years from now. Lena bjale ka mokgatlo, what is ke ponelopele e feng e le nna le go yona? What is your vision and mission when it comes to Big SA?
Yeah. Mr. Jackie,
Yes.
a nation that does not know where they come from is a nation that doesn't know where they're going. And at this moment, we all sitting there and we having different types of histories. And everybody is talking about history according to what they see or what they have experienced. But most of the time, people talk about history in terms of trying to change people's minds of the future. So when you look at South Africa is a very beautiful country in terms of the ratings in the world. If you look at the top destinations of the world,
Yes.
in terms of tourism, South Africa is always within the top 10.
Yes.
The city of Cape Town is always within the top 3 of people around the world who say we want to visit Cape Town.
Yes.
And the people of South Africa generally are beautiful people with very beautiful hearts. And I think what the international society and media and some of our people here, they want to give South Africa a bad name.
Yeah.
In terms of how they want South Africa to be viewed. You know, every time that we speak to people internationally, the first thing they ask you, Corey, how's the xenophobia back home?
Yeah.
And how is the crime back home?
Yes.
And how's this and how's that? Mara, I mean, South Africans, you know, I always tell people when I travel a lot. I've traveled a lot in my life, and people say to me, you know, how's things back home? I say to them, you know, South Africa is one of the very few countries where you can walk into a lift and someone says to you, "Goeiemorgen," or "Bonjani," or "How are you?" Because we are that kind of people. You know, when we see a person, we see a human being. You know, when you travel in other countries, especially if you are African or darker in color, when some people see you in a lift, they don't even want to get into a lift with you.
Yeah.
And in this country, we are that kind of country. And the divisions that people cause, especially racial divisions, look, we must never ever undermine the fact that South Africa has racism, and South Africa will always have racism, and South Africa will always have racists, but a small percentage of a nation must not make a nation.
Yeah.
You know, so not all South Africans are xenophobic, or not all South Africans are racist,
Yes.
and not all South Africans are criminal. So that is why when we look at the vision of Big SA, we say we really need to unite the nation.
Yes.
And the only way to unite the nation is through the economy, because you know we can wave the flag, the most beautiful flag in the world. People have said during the 2010 World Cup.
Yes.
But if you are going to want people to stand behind the flag, you have to make sure that everyone is sorted.
Yeah. All right. I see you're bringing as Big SA to South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Jackie. Remember, there's a concept, Eribijang, basic income grant.
Yes.
South Africa.
Wow.
And what is happening is that Big SA is putting ourselves as the pioneers of the basic income grant.
Okay.
In fact, Mr. Jackie, we were launching our party, 9th June, Kopelendaba, Trisville. And what happened was, before the 9th June 2022, people were talking about the basic income grant as a by the way. You know, even some of the largest political parties in this country.
Yeah.
You know, the largest one is saying, we are now talking about the basic income grant, and we are putting it as a top 10 as a top 10 priority.
Yeah.
But before the 9th of June,
Okay.
so you can already see. I mean, Babamba Katomo Moswa they were saying, or no, this Big SA and the basic income grant is a waste of time.
Okay.
And Babamba Mahwanyana, no, it's not affordable.
Okay.
And Baginya Kobelalanga Bona business unity South Africa.
Yes.
Because you know it's not a political party, so I can talk about them. They are saying it's not affordable, but it's necessary.
Okay.
And then no, but it must come through a wealth tax. And the moment that you start saying wealth tax, usually businessman, usually le batho ba mana le ntšhelete ba thothe diphatlo tša bona ba tswe ka country. So Big SA is saying the basic income grant is a non-negotiable going forward.
Yeah.
And re kgopela batho ba re voutele so that we must implement the process. And the difference between us and the rest, number one, we are the pioneers of the basic income grant.
Yes.
Number two, we are not talking about a wealth tax because we talk about what we call a universal sales tax, where everybody at every level will contribute to the big SA or the basic income grant. And
Yes.
the basic income grant, we deliberately, as a party, we call it a universal basic pay, because Business Unity South Africa is saying a basic income grant must only be for the unemployed. Ronara, we say everyone in this country is struggling.
Yeah.
People who are earning anything from 30,000 and downwards, 6,000, 7,000, transport is high, petrol is high, food is high, and the people are working, but they're struggling. When you look at First National Bank, they had a survey about 2 months ago, where First National Bank says from the first of the month, like
Yes.
to the 5th of the month, in every month, people bahola from the 6th of Asamachelet.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, what they do, they take their money, they buy groceries, and they pay for transport, so that they are covered for the rest of the month. So the message to the people on the ground, but Mamelodi and surrounding areas,
Yes.
Refilwe and everywhere else, and Pelenda, Bakarankua, Soweto, Kailicha, and everywhere in the country,
Yes.
we are saying to them, please vote for us so that we can implement this program.
All right. Listening to you, Ntate Kekana, one will be saying, seemingly the party is focusing more on the basic income grant.
Yes, sir.
And those that we refer to them as well off, remember they are still voters.
Yes, sir.
And they might feel the party is not accommodating them, it's not talking to them.
Yeah.
So then how do you reach out to those that are well off and they don't necessarily need a basic income grant for them to can survive? Because one will be saying, yeah, but
Yes, sir.
and then how do you then appeal to those ones by bakwa kudimunyana?
Yeah. We in our policy documents,
Yes.
we have considered that, and the way
Yes.
or we are saying, if you're earning from about 35, 40,000 and upwards, we need to drop the pay as you earn tax, so that there's no unfairness among citizens.
Yes.
So that is where the big difference comes in, with what some people saying you must tax the wealthy. We say not quite. You need the wealthy to stick around,
Yes.
and to be with you for as long as they want, and they must feel safe. So there's a plan that we've worked out to say, for those who are earning about between 30, 35,000 and upwards, and 100,000 and whatever,
Yes.
those people, we need to drop the percentage of pay as you earn. Remember, Mr. Jackie, South Africa is in trouble, and people are not aware. Some people buy sharp, buy tickets or whatever, buy tickets and survive. But as a country, we are going to face a collapse. Because remember this, that in South Africa, we have just close to 61 million citizens, plus minus. So we have about 60.8 million citizens.
Yes.
But only 5.8 million people are paying tax in South Africa. And a lot of people are not aware. And that number, a few years ago, that number was 8-9 million taxpayers.
So basically it's dropping.
So we in the next 2-3 years, we would be sitting at 50% of what of people paying tax. Let's give an example. I mean, this year is 2022.
Yes.
About 2017, 2016, we had close to 10 million taxpayers. So and it's not a long time ago. It's about 5-6 years ago.
Yes.
Now we're sitting with just under 6 million taxpayers, 5.8 million taxpayers, and that number is reducing every day as people lose jobs, and those who can afford it are leaving the country.
Yeah.
So I get a mala. but you know who's the majority of the people who are living in the country.
Yes.
And it doesn't, we can't say to them, bon voyage.
Yeah.
We need them.
To remain.
Yeah, we need them because they are South Africans. And the worst thing about the situation of people living in the country is that when they are across, because I get what's up my leg.
Okay.
So I want to come back to the point of fewer taxpayers, to say more and more we have a fewer taxpayer number. Remember, South Africa, if you take the tax that we collect, remember, government can only rely on a number of things for revenue.
Yes.
The biggest one is tax. The next one is raising debt, and we know our government is very notorious of raising, especially the current administration. They are loan happy. This thing every 2-3 months.
Yes.
And we know where they're borrowing the money, and all they're doing is they're selling the souls of the future of South Africans. But let's come back to the tax issue. 5.8 million people only out of 60 million
Yes.
paying tax, and that number is coming down. So the question the higher bracket income bracket people is a valid one, because what we need to do to say pay as you earn, you need to drop a percentage or a number so that the people who are earning a particular amount must not feel as if you are discriminating against them, and therefore they become unhappy and say this is too unfair, because the focus is on the unemployment and the zero income people. So what you do, you drop a percentage of the tax, the pay as you earn, and at some point we also need to look at VAT to say, where do we play in terms of VAT? But the general collection of tax need to be revised in order to be fair to everyone.
Exactly after 8 o'clock, I'll also be taking your calls on 0790360428. Motlhomo motheletsi o na le potsiso ye o ratago ka e butšhang tate kana o e leng gore ke mopresidente wa mokgatlho o bitswago Big SA, Basic Income Grant South African Political Party. Ke ba leng gore ke boledišana le bona bošegong ba lekgolo. Pele tate kana pele re interrupta ke that call, I just wanted to tap on this question, which is, I believe, I might be forward. I know that most of the callers would have asked you this question, but I'm asking on their behalf.
Yes.
We're looking at South Africa today. We're looking at the crime statistics to South Africa. We're looking at issues of unemployment. We're looking at issues of poverty and hunger, which you mentioned earlier on. Now, as a political party which is having a vision to say we want to take over South Africa and lead South Africans. Now, as a political party, what are your plans in terms of reducing the crime in South Africa? You mentioned, you've touched the issue of migration laws, whereby people just move freely in and out of South Africa without any proper documentation. And we are all aware of the level of unemployment. It's rising. The youth are unemployed and all those things. Lona, as a political party, what are your plans to ensure that this comes as something, one will say it is a priority for South Africans to see crime rate going down? So do you have plans to work around crime in South Africa, poverty, unemployment, migration laws, hunger, and all those things that it is on everybody's tongue? Every time when you talk about South Africans, they normally pop up.
Mr. Jack, I think tabaya crime is a big one, and you cannot separate unemployment from crime.
Yes.
Because the higher the unemployment, the more crime we will have, and I know some of the crime has been imported and unnecessarily so from neighboring countries, and what we as Big SA are saying is that you have to equip the police.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you have more bobbies on the beat. You need more personnel, The numbers that we are providing are very little.
Yes.
We cannot afford a situation where people go to police stations and rob a police station. I mean, we must be the only country in the world where that kind of thing happens,
Yes.
where people go to a police station to go look for firearms. Ba fihle mo la ba tswalle maphodisa ba ba bofe ba irema tse dithunya.
Yeah.
I mean, it has never happened anywhere in the world.
Yes, very true.
So the most important thing to do, remember, if you don't have enough personnel, you will never be able to deal with crime.
Yes.
So you need to add as many policemen as possible. We are looking at, when we say we need to have more hundreds of thousands of policemen, even if we have more policemen than we need, rather have that than have the crime. That's the number one. Number two is the training of the police. You know, as big as we believe that the police are doing a great job, and a lot of them are under tremendous stress. You know, if you have neighbors and relatives who are police, you will understand to say some of our kids don't even want to become policemen anymore because mapolisha abalaiwa mo South Africa, mapolisha in fact are respective in this country. So we need to change that culture, but the only way to change the culture is through adding large numbers of police. You know, the unemployment in South Africa, the number or percentage of unemployment can be dealt with very quickly.
Yes.
If we take young people, 66% of our youth, in fact 66.7% of our youth are unemployed.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's one of the most painful things. If you are a South African and true South African in the heart, there's no way these issues cannot touch you. You know, if you look at, I mean, children or young adults between the ages of 15 and 25, almost 7 out of 10 are not at school, are not at work, are not at any college, are not at university, and they're idling. And it cannot be business as usual. And
Yes.
that number is becoming worse. And a lot of them are even graduates from universities who have qualifications, but they don't know what to do and where to go. And we're not doing anything about it. We're all going with our lives as long as we survive. So coming back to that crime story to say you need more police vehicles, you need more firearms, you need more training. And one of the things that we looked at as a Senate, we call ourselves a Senate,
Yes.
is that we need to get to a point where the police are fearless. Because remember, there's another thing in this country which is called the human rights.
Yes.
You know, a criminal beats up a policeman. A policeman must wait for that criminal before it's to
Yes.
you know, because if the policeman sorts out that criminal before, all the human rights organizations will be standing up, and our police have become fearful because the Ministry of Police and the departments that deal with the police people are not protecting our policemen. So our policemen come to a point where Melore abetiwe pele before I act.
Yes.
Because if I act and atrapa this criminal, the rest of you are going to be saying human rights.
Police brutality.
Police brutality.
Ah.
The interesting thing is that some of the international human rights organizations, and I'll mention names like Amnesty International, and some of them who are based in New York and Washington and the big cities of the world, they wait for things to happen in South Africa first before they act. You know, when you take the July 2021 riots,
Yes.
there was no Amnesty International, there was no human rights, they were waiting for the policemen to shoot and kill people, and then they were going to come. You know? So what they do, the police are standing and waiting, and the rioters are rioting, and everything is going the way, you know? And then after that, people come back and say, let's do a commission of inquiry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right, I see here I've got a question. Mr. Kekana, what did you do for living before you opened a political party? Because we can see the big bosses stealing our money as they promise to change the country.
Kgopela offer guarantee to Mr. William to say, I don't need any public money to survive. And therefore, based on that, there's no intention. After Mr. William are voted like 2024, I promise him, More, you will never hear me getting involved in any tender afterwards, personally.
All right. Another one that came through here. All right. Struggling a little bit regarding this question, but before that, let's take the caller on the line. You're live on radio. Good evening.
More houses and more everything, and take their kids to the best schools. And because remember, we are all about the economy. The economy of South Africa needs to grow, and that relates to the more shops will be there. More brick manufacturing companies will be there. All the mining companies from Australia, the UK, and all over the world have gone into our towns. They've gone and taken out minerals out of the belly of South Africa, and they all disappear. You know, if you go into the Department of Minerals and Energy and see the billions that are sitting there on rehabilitation of land that are not being spent. So if one wants to know whether we are communist or socialist or capitalist, I will say outright, upfront, that you will never get better capitalists than us, because we believe people must prosper in their own rights.
All right, 30 minutes just after the hour, 8 o'clock. Let me quickly go back to the shops. Minutes after this, we continue with our conversation. One is specifically for Mamelodi residents. But Lena as Big SA, Lena Belakamo Presidente or Mokhatwa Big SA. What is it that you're doing to ensure or to fight this nyaupe that we always see that is killing our nation as South Africans?
Well, thank you for the question. Wonderful question. I like the fact that when a brother says charity begins at home.
Yes.
Because, you know, Nagamuta Pitori.
Yeah.
Between Peli and Mams.
Yeah.
And I love that. And when we launched Kadi 9, it's a June ku Peli. And in Kadi 13, it's August, next week Saturday.
Yes.
We are going to have a launch, the chapter ya Mamelodi, ku Ikachem Park, just next to the community center. Okay, so charity really begins at home, and we are not saying the rest of the country is not important. We are saying all of the towns in South Africa at some point of our lives, before the elections in 2024 and even after the elections in 2024, we're going to pay them a visit.
Yes.
What we are doing at this moment, we are working on a number of programs with the different community leaders in Mamelodi.
Yes.
Because, you know, one of the things that we want to focus on is to focus on the different wards. Because, you know, sometimes we try to be everything to everybody and we end up not doing anything. And I think that's where a lot of the municipality leaders and the government leaders are failing. So we are currently talking to the different areas and sections through wards.
Yes.
To say, what are the issues in this particular place? What are the issues in that particular place? And one of the biggest issues that we're focusing on is the Nyaupe sketch. But remember, there's many other issues. There's child abuse, women abuse, gender-based violence. And through our Big SA Women movement, we're focusing on specific projects. So the way we want to do it, because remember now we are a political party,
Yes.
and we are not an NGO. So the way we do it is that we work with NGOs in the areas to deal with their issues.
Yes.
You know, issues of electricity, issues of water, you know, certain sections of Mamelodi, the sewerage problems, and many other places. But we are not going to go in directly and deal with the issues directly. We deal with the NGOs like the you know, orphanages and you know, those rehabilitation centers,
Yes.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. This one will, at the end of this question, it talks to what you've just said.
Yes.
Because as we were speaking, I was looking at this question, and it goes like, how do we get hold of him if there are issues to raise? By the way, we are still on no cheating since 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Look, you know, when we look at what happened in Tembisa
Yes.
earlier this week, it is not unique for Tembisa. It's not a unique situation for Tembisa. We are having problems in South Africa.
Yes.
And the problems are getting deeper and deeper. So we are saying, as communities, we'll give you a contact number before we leave Datel House, so
Yes.
you can share that it's a 064 number.
All right.
But if people visit our website,
Yes.
www.bigsa.org.za, they will see on the website there's a contact number and it's a WhatsApp number. And also, I mean, one of the most important things on our website is our membership form.
Yes.
That people, if they want to join and they want to feel the organization and see how it works, it's better to go through the website. We also have an app, a mobile app, where people can join as members. But the contact number is there, and there's also an email address on the website, which is info@bigsa, all small letters, bigsa.org.za.
All right. We'll definitely go through those numbers again because remember, we did not prepare our listeners to go get their pens and papers so that when we call those numbers, they are able to can write them down. You've touched something, I want us to go back to it. Issue ya the 13th August.
Yes.
You are saying, the 13th August, the launch of the Mamelodi branch of the Big SA.
Yes.
Can you just take us through what will be happening on that particular day? Where are we meeting? What time are we meeting?
Yeah.
What is expected of us? What must we bring with us on that particular day? All the nitty-gritties regarding the day of the launch.
Sure. On the day of the launch, Kadi 13,
Yes.
we plan to have a march, a small short march, or mokolokolo. Like a small. So we have the drum majorettes.
Or more like a parade.
Yeah, more like a parade.
All right. All right.
More of a parade.
Yes.
We're having the drum majorettes.
Yes.
What we do every time we go into a town or township or a residential area or village, we try to use the locals, empower the local youth in terms of activity. So
Yes.
section. But the drum majorettes, beautiful little kids
Yes.
who keep themselves busy. Got the drum majorettes. They're going to be leading us at 9:30
Okay.
around the Ikageng, the greater Ikageng area. And from then on, we're going to have a brass band that's going to be playing for us. It's a local group as well of youth based in Mamelodi. They're going to be playing as a brass band. And then we have a number of artists who would like to showcase
Their talent. All
And
right.
they're all local boys. You know, Mamelodi East mainly, and Marinyaka, Mamelodi West, if you know those.
Nel Mafias.
Leba Mapios.
Yes.
Leba Mapios, leba Lerona.
Yeah.
They must also come and participate. We were planning to start at 9:30 and finish about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
But if there's a need to accommodate others, but only some local boys who believe they're the best Mapiano DJs in the country.
Yeah.
So le bona ba le Grootman Teleja Morona le rena mo programming. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We are launching the Mamelodi chapter of Big SA.
Yes.
We wanted to do it quicker, so that as the other caller said, charity begins at home.
Yes.
So that by the time we go to the Free State, that we know.
You've got a base go high.
Yes. So there's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to keep the speeches as short as possible. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be providing t-shirts and caps and re kgopela gore batho ba ska tla le next ba itlele fela ba tlo teleja and have fun and bring the family, you know.
So it's more like a family day, more like a family fun day.
It's a family fun day, because we want the little ones, when they are older, you know, the 8 years and 9 year and 10-year-olds, when they are 18, you know, I went with my father and mother, hopefully we will still be alive, but those who take over after us, to say, Big SA, I was introduced to Big SA. I mean, some of the people, Mokasimo, Sundowns now when I Sundowns support the Pirates. I'm not my topi Orlando Stadium again. I'm 7 years old.
All right, I've got another caller on the line. Live on radio. Good evening. You should start with the soldiers, grassroots, and I guess this is more of a tip to say if you want to win this battle, start with these soldiers. But they are referring to you to say go back home.
Yes.
Zebediel. But Obera part. So that you don't come back and apologize.
Yeah, well, you know, it is such an amazing advice.
Yes.
And such beautiful advice. And what's about every diloja mudimo di khatlana mo moyeng.
Yes.
And the people that we have not met can resonate with your vision.
Yes.
And your thinking. You know, Big SA as a party is divided into different sections.
Okay.
We have the Big SA Youth Movement, Big SA Women Movement, but we also have a special movement called the Traditional Leader Movement.
Okay.
You know, which it's a very special movement for us.
Within the party
within
itself.
our party itself.
All right.
You know, there's a particular section where Ntate Mashiane, who's now based in Tembisa, but from the north, you know, before we even launched and before we even had a conference, we made contact with our royal family.
Yes.
We already told them, and they gave us a blessing.
All right.
We spoke to the royal family Kopane, where I and my grandfather and his father come from.
Yeah.
Because Renarbam Kopane, already about Big SA. Right now we are not going to go and apologize. We have the blessings. We were supposed immediately after the launch at Richville to go Komletlane on a special occasion to go and get blessings from Koshikekana. And by the so July was a very busy month for the traditional leadership because of the Koma.
Yes.
So Rena, you know, we were bashash when it comes to the Khoshi. Martabeya Mashole, it's a very important one.
Yes.
Because you know, people are selling whatever they are selling. They are not worried about our youth. They're not worried about the livelihood of this country in future, and they are not worried about the future of South Africa. They are just worried about making money, whether they kill the nation or they kill the community. They don't care. And that's good advice for us to say focus on the ground, focus on the community. You know, when we had a meeting about Baikare and Lebamahube 2 weeks ago, they said to us, you know, Kikan, you know, you are one of us, and you are a son of this place. You are a community member. Please, Skaro fitla Cape Town. Rufile ticket ya parliament.
Yeah.
Wa fitla mola wana kwa kudi beaching kudi holiday wale balaro. You still need to come back to Mamelodi and Atteridgeville and Garankuwa and Mapias and Refilwe and come back and report. Because when you go to parliament, ke rena tle be ro romile.
Yes.
Don't forget to come back home.
All right, we've got another voice note on. All right, that's Emmanuel from Mafia Sintatekana. Bare the Youth League, but I guess maybe the message came just after you spoken about the Youth League. You do have the Youth League, you mentioned the Women's League and the Traditional Leaders League.
Yes.
So basically, I guess maybe you can reiterate on
Yes.
that one, especially on the issue of the Youth League.
I think, you know, Mr. Manuel, Mapias, we just confirmed earlier on, the big SA political party is divided into 3 movements, and we call them the youth movement, the women movement, and the traditional leader movement. Yeah, just to confirm that we have a very strong big SA youth movement. Our president, big SA youth movement, is a young man by the name of Mr. Quintin Kaudi.
Yes.
Very, very strong, likable, energetic young man. And, you know, he's our inaugural president that was elected in our conference. Just to let you know, Mr. Jackie, that we had our conference in the beginning of June, where you know, different leaders were elected, including myself.
Yes.
So I was elected by an official conference.
Yes.
And in that conference, we had the president of the women movement was elected. We also had the president of the youth movement, and also the convener of the traditional leadership movement, because we believe the traditional leader movement must have a koshi,
Yes.
a nkosi, that should be the president. So,
Okay.
so you know, but the convener Gintate Mashiane, and we also have what we call the top 10 of the political
Organization.
party,
Yes.
the organization, we should call it the engine
All right.
of the. So we're very organized. We try. We're getting advices from left, right, and center, where people are saying, where I come from, we used to do this, where I come from. And we try to be as accommodative as possible, because we are saying positions must not drive us crazy. Let us drive the message first. So I'd like to come to the issue of the Constitution.
Yes.
In South Africa, I think we all make a mistake when it comes to positions. And the reason why I say that is that we need to come to a point where we don't put names to positions.
Okay.
Like, for instance, the presidency of the Republic of South Africa is an office and does not belong to an individual.
Yes.
The CEO of Transnet is an office. It does not belong to an individual. And all other public positions, we must always remember that whether you're a Minister of Health or the DG of this or HOD of that, we need to come to a culture where we understand that those positions or offices belong to the people of South Africa. The presidency belongs to the people of South Africa. The Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Police, the CEO of this and that, CEO of ESCOM must not be tied up to a name. So we need to get the best person to come into that position. And if that person does not perform according to how the people are expecting them to perform, we say to them, in all positions. So when we talk about the Constitution, it's a very interesting and something that we need to keep talking about. Like, for instance, South Africa is a constitutional democracy, and we chose that in 1994 to say South Africa is not a parliamentary democracy. And the reason why we chose a constitutional democracy is because at that time we said we cannot trust politicians at all times.
Yes.
So don't give power to politicians above the Constitution. But obviously, the Constitution as well has got individuals that fill up positions, like the Deputy Chief Justice, like the Chief Justice, and many other positions, like a magistrate in a court,
Yes.
and a judge in a court, you know. So what we tend to do is we tend to put names to positions, and that's why when we say we are looking for a Deputy Chief Justice, it becomes a big hullabaloo, where we forget that the Deputy Chief Justice office belongs to the people of South Africa. And South Africa has one of the best constitutions in the world. We know that. Although people are saying that constitution is not working for us, it's nothing to do with the constitution. It's the people occupying those positions who are making us not look good.
Yeah.
So we must not now stand back and criticize our own constitution. Look, where we need to amend, we must listen to the ground, we must listen to communities to say, maybe we need to change this law and change that law, or include this law and that. But do not look at the constitution as an enemy of the people.
Yeah.
Look at those who are not practicing the things that they're supposed to practice as the enemy of the people. Do not look at the presidency as an enemy of the people, because that office called the presidency belongs to the people.
Yes.
The person who occupies the presidency, when the people are not happy with this performance, we remove him and put in another one. Increase the number of the top 10 to accommodate more females. So we're very strong about it. You know, our Secretary General is a lady by the name of Zemasa Matikizela.
Yes.
And you know, we didn't take it because of the surname, but she was voted in at the conference. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're very strong about that. But the scary situation, both in Southern Africa, and the world, is that the women are not coming up and taking up their space. Okay. You know, we have to all the time go and search for the women, because what, you know, the females are saying we are tired, we are this or that. But you know, if females don't take over the world, we're gonna have wars forever.
All right, is when Mr. Kekana is up in the leadership, they will give him a buffalo, but we are hoping he will do a good job come 2024.
Yes.
Would you receive a buffalo as a gift?
I am a big supporter of wildlife.
Yes.
I'm a big supporter of the Kruger National Park and those kind of leisure type of life. But I think the message that I'd like to give to the people of Mamelodi, to the people of Nelma, Pias, Refilwe, and all surrounding areas, Atteridgeville, Garankuwa, and South Africa,
Yes.
is that I am at a point in my life where I don't need the buffalo to make me happy.
All right.
You know, I've worked enough in my life. I've been running businesses for the last 25 years, my own businesses, and I've had a good life. I've had a blessed life. That if someone comes and offers me $1 million or 10 or 20, it won't make a difference to my life. You know? And I'm at that point of my life, and I'm saying to all the people around me, please, whatever we do, let's not get tempted. You know, even if someone comes and offers me $1 billion, what am I going to do with it? I've had a good life.
Yeah.
You know, whether I have 10,000 rand now, or $1 million now, or $1 billion, I mean, it's not going to make a difference to my life, because I have nothing to lose, I have nothing to gain.
All right.
Since August, re tlabe kwa ko Ikageng Park. Ikageng Park e leng ka mo Morawa Community Center ko Ikageng. And we are going to have a family fun day.
Yes.
We will have a few speeches, but you know, we don't want to be like those old people that talk for 3 hours and they sleep in between. But clear.
Yes.
We're going to have drum majorettes, a brass band, a local artist, Panga, my boy, is gonna be there, and local Amapiano DJs. Amapiano DJs, Baklema or Bona, they are the best in South Africa. And people must come. We'll provide refreshments. We'll provide water. We'll provide fruit, and we'll also try and wherever we can give people something to eat.
Yes.
In between, we've asked the community, some of the community leaders, to help us go by the marshals.
Okay.
In the event, and we're looking forward to a very nice day. We are planning to have similar events around Gauteng and around the country. The demand is very high. We're getting calls from Govenda, Polokwane.
Yes.
Some people from the Eastern Cape are calling Fontaine, Uzanene, Apa, and it's just amazing. I think people have been looking for a breath of fresh air. People have been looking for a new party, and we keep on calling our people to order to say, please don't talk about other parties, don't talk about other politicians.
Yes.
We are not here to criticize other parties. We can criticize offices that belong to the people.
Yes.
We can criticize, like the mayor of Tshwane is not an individual. It's an office.
It's an office.
So when the mayor of Tshwane, when we criticize the mayorship of Tshwane, we're not criticizing a particular individual. When we criticize the CEO of ESCOM, we don't really care who's CEO of ESCOM. We're criticizing an office. And so that's basically what's going to happen on the 13th of August. We're going to have fun.
All right, we've got another caller on the line. You're live on radio. Good evening.